She pressed the silver needle into her wrist and bit down hard to keep from screaming. This was Sarah's morning ritual. Inject poison. Suppress her wolf. Pretend to be human. Because 10 years ago, the Alpha King marked her family for death, and she was the only one who escaped. But today was different. The man at table 7 wasn't looking at his menu. He was looking at her, with eyes that glowed amber. Predator eyes. I can smell the silver poisoning your blood, Nightshade, he whispered. That name was supposed to be dead. In the next 60 seconds, Sarah will smash a coffee pot across his face, shift for the first time in 10 years, and kill a werewolf in broad daylight. Her cover blown. Her location exposed. Her survival impossible. But here's what she doesn't know yet. The Alpha King who's been hunting her? He's about to do something that will change everything. He's going to mark her as his mate. Stick around, because this story has 3 identical sisters, a prophecy that keeps changing, and a twist so shocking, even the Alpha King didn't see it coming. What would you do if the life you built for 10 years crumbled in 10 seconds? Chapter 1. Sarah pressed the silver needle against her inner wrist and bit down hard on her lip. The injection burned like liquid fire coursing through her veins, but she couldn't scream. Not here. Not in the employee bathroom of Marco's diner, where she'd worked for 3 years as a waitress. Every morning, same ritual. Silver in her bloodstream kept her wolf dormant. Kept her human. Kept her alive. She splashed cold water on her face and stared at her reflection. Brown eyes, plain face, forgettable features. Perfect camouflage. Nobody looked twice at Sarah Mitchell, the quiet girl who always took double shifts and never caused trouble. That was exactly how she'd survived. 10 years of hiding. 10 years of suppressing everything she was. 10 years of pretending her family hadn't been slaughtered like animals when she was 16. Sarah dried her hands and pushed back into the diner's chaos. Saturday lunch rush meant screaming kids, impatient businessmen, and her feet aching by hour 3. She grabbed her notepad and headed to table 7. The man sitting there made her freeze. He wasn't looking at a menu. He was looking at her. Really looking at her, the way predators tracked prey. His eyes were amber, too bright, too aware. Werewolf eyes. Sarah's heart hammered, but she kept her face blank. Maybe he was just passing through. Maybe he didn't know what she was. What can I get you? Her voice came out steady. Years of practice. You can stop pretending. His voice was low, dangerous. I can smell the silver poisoning your blood, Nightshade. The notepad slipped from her fingers. Nightshade. Nobody had called her that in a decade. That name was supposed to be dead, buried with her family in unmarked graves. I don't know what you're talking about. Sarah bent to pick up her notepad, mind racing. The exit was 20 feet away. Her car was parked out back. She could run. The Alpha King knows you're alive. The man leaned forward. He's been looking for you. And I just earned a very large reward. He moved faster than any wolf should move in public. His hand clamped around her wrist, claws extending just enough to draw blood. Sarah felt her wolf surge up despite the silver, desperate to protect her. Pain exploded through her body as her nature fought against the poison she'd used to suppress it. She couldn't shift. Not fully, but she could fight. Sarah grabbed the coffee pot from the nearest table and smashed it across his face. He roared, releasing her wrist. Customers screamed. Someone yelled about calling the police. She ran. Through the kitchen, past Marco shouting her name, out the back door into the alley. Her car was right there. Keys in her pocket. She could make it. The werewolf burst through the door behind her, face already healing from the burns. You can't run from this. The Alpha King marked you for death 16 years ago. You're just a loose end. I was a child. Sarah's wolf clawed at her insides, begging to be free. I didn't do anything. Your bloodline did enough. He lunged. Sarah's body moved on instinct. Silver be damned, she let her wolf rise. Bones cracked and reformed. Her hands became claws. Her teeth elongated into fangs. She caught him midair, and they crashed into the dumpster hard enough to dent metal. They fought like animals because that's what they were. Sarah felt claws tear through her shoulder. She tasted blood when her teeth found his throat. The silver in her system made everything slower, weaker, but survival instinct burned hotter than any poison. She pinned him against the brick wall, claws at his jugular. Who sent you? The Alpha King sends his regards. Blood bubbled from his lips. You should have stayed hidden, little Nightshade. Now he knows exactly where you are. His eyes glazed over. Dead. Sarah released him and stumbled backward. Her body was already forcing the shift back, her wolf retreating now that the threat was gone. She looked at her human hands, covered in blood. Looked at the dead werewolf in the alley behind her workplace. Everything was ruined. Sirens wailed in the distance. Someone had called the cops. She could hear Marco arguing with customers inside, trying to calm everyone down. She'd exposed herself in front of dozens of witnesses. 10 years of hiding gone. Sarah ran to her car, hands shaking so badly she could barely get the key in the ignition. She had emergency bags stashed in 3 locations across the city. Cash, fake IDs, weapons. She'd always known this day might come. She just thought she'd have more time. 20 minutes later, she pulled up to her apartment building. 3rd floor, corner unit, always kept the curtains closed. She took the stairs 2 at a time, already planning her escape route. Grab the bag from the bedroom closet, take the fire escape down, steal a different car, and disappear into another city with another name. She could do this. She'd done it before. Sarah unlocked her apartment door and stopped breathing. The place was destroyed. Furniture overturned, drawers ripped open, her careful life torn apart by someone searching for something. Or someone sending a message. She stood frozen in the doorway, every instinct screaming danger. That's when she saw it. Through her bedroom window, perched on the fire escape, was a massive black wolf. Easily twice the size of any normal werewolf. Its eyes glowed silver in the afternoon light, and they were locked directly on her. Alpha eyes. The wolf didn't move. Didn't attack. Just watched her with an intensity that made her skin crawl. Then it turned and leaped from the fire escape, disappearing into the city below. Sarah's legs gave out. She collapsed against the doorframe, reality crashing down around her. The Alpha King knew where she lived. He'd been inside her home. And for some reason, he hadn't killed her yet. That scared her more than anything. Because in her experience, when predators didn't kill you immediately, it meant they had something worse planned. Chapter 2. What would you sacrifice to survive one more day? Sarah didn't waste time being afraid. Fear was a luxury she couldn't afford. She grabbed her emergency bag from the closet, the one item the intruder hadn't found because she'd hidden it inside a false panel. $3,000 in cash, 2 fake IDs, a burner phone, and a silver knife that had belonged to her mother. Everything she needed to disappear. She was in her car and driving within 5 minutes. The city blurred past as she headed north, toward the mountains. Toward wilderness where she could lose herself among the trees and rivers. Humans stayed out of the deep forests. They belonged to the wolves now, but that made them safer for her. She knew how to hide from her own kind. Hours passed. The sun began setting, painting the sky in violent shades of orange and red. Sarah's shoulder throbbed where the werewolf had clawed her. The wound should have healed by now, but the silver in her system slowed everything down. She pulled off the highway onto a dirt road, then abandoned her car a mile into the forest. They could track license plates. They couldn't track footprints through running water and rocky terrain. At least, that's what she told herself. Sarah walked for hours in the darkness, letting her wolf senses guide her even though she didn't dare shift. Every shadow looked like an enemy. Every sound could be a threat. The forest was never truly silent. It breathed and moved and watched. Just like her. By midnight, exhaustion was winning. She hadn't slept in 24 hours. Her body was crashing from the silver and the forced partial shift and the adrenaline finally wearing off. She needed rest, just a few hours. She found a dense thicket and crawled inside, making herself as small as possible. The ground was cold and damp, but she'd slept in worse places. She'd survived worse things. Her mother's voice echoed in her memory. Never let them see you cry, Sarah. Tears are a weakness they'll exploit. Her mother had been wrong about a lot of things, but not that. Sarah closed her eyes and let sleep take her. She woke to the feeling of a boot pressing against her ribs. Found her. Rough hands dragged her from the thicket before she could fight back. 3 of them, all male, all werewolf. Rogues based on the scarring and feral eyes. Wolves without packs were dangerous, unpredictable. They zip-tied her wrists behind her back and hauled her to her feet. Please, Sarah gasped, playing weak. I'm nobody. I don't have anything valuable. The largest one laughed. You're more valuable than you know, Nightshade. Someone's paying good money for information about you. I don't know what you're talking about. He backhanded her across the face. Sarah tasted blood. Don't play stupid. We know what you are. Last of your bloodline, yeah? The Alpha King wants you dead, but there are others who want you alive. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to tell us where the weapon is, and maybe we'll sell you to the highest bidder instead of just killing you for the bounty." "Weapon?" Sarah's mind raced. "What weapon? I don't know about any weapon. My family is dead. They didn't leave me anything." Another hit, this time to her stomach. She doubled over, gasping. "Your bloodline guarded something for centuries. Something that can kill alpha-born wolves. We know your father hid it before he died. Tell us where." Understanding crashed through her. They thought her family had possessed some kind of supernatural weapon. That's why they'd been slaughtered. That's why she was still being hunted. But her father had never mentioned anything like that. He'd barely mentioned anything about their heritage at all. He'd been too busy trying to keep them hidden, keep them safe. He'd failed. "I don't know." She wasn't acting anymore. Real terror filled her voice. "My father never told me about a weapon. He never told me anything." The rogue leader grabbed her hair, yanking her head back. "Then you're useless to us. But we can still have some fun before we collect the bounty." What happened next was a blur of pain. They beat her methodically, professionally, breaking bones but nothing vital, keeping her conscious, asking the same questions over and over while she gave the same answers. The truth, which they didn't believe. Sarah lost track of time. Everything became blood and bruises and the taste of dirt in her mouth. Her wolf howled inside her, desperate to break free and fight, but the silver poisoning kept her trapped in human form. Helpless. She'd survived 10 years of hiding just to die in a forest, beaten by rogues who wanted information she didn't have. The irony would have been funny if it didn't hurt so much. "Last chance," the leader said. He held a knife to her throat. "Tell us where the weapon is." "I don't know." Sarah's voice was barely a whisper. "Please. I don't know." He raised the knife. A howl split the night air. Not just any howl. An alpha's howl, full of rage and power and promise of violence. The rogues froze. "Run," one of them whispered. They did. They dropped Sarah and scattered into the darkness like prey animals fleeing a predator. She collapsed onto her side, too broken to move. Blood pooled beneath her. Her vision blurred. Through the haze, she saw a massive shape approaching. The black wolf from her apartment. It moved with deadly grace, each step purposeful. The wolf stopped inches from her face. Those silver eyes studied her with an intelligence that was completely human. This wasn't just any alpha. This was the Alpha King himself. Cale Bloodmoon. The man who'd ordered her family's execution. The wolf's nose brushed her cheek, almost gentle. Then it bit down on the zip ties, snapping them easily. Sarah's hands fell free, but she couldn't move. Couldn't run. Could barely breathe. The wolf nudged her with its massive head, almost like it was checking if she was alive. "Just kill me," Sarah whispered. "Get it over with." The wolf huffed, sounding almost offended. Then it grabbed the back of her shirt in its teeth and started dragging her. Sarah's consciousness faded in and out. She felt movement, heard running water, smelled pine and earth and wolf. When she finally came back to full awareness, she was lying on cold stone. A cave, she realized dimly. He'd brought her to a cave. The black wolf was gone. In its place stood a man. He was tall, powerfully built, with black hair and those same silver eyes that seemed to see straight through her. He wore dark clothes and radiated authority like other people radiated heat. Alpha King Cale Bloodmoon in human form. And Sarah was his prisoner. He crouched beside her, studying her injuries with a clinical detachment. "You're on the border of Bloodmoon Pack territory. If you take one step further in, you'll be trespassing. If you try to leave, those rogues will finish what they started. So I'm trapped. You're alive." His voice was deep, cold. "That's more than you deserve." Sarah's laugh came out as a wet cough. "Then why save me?" "Because I have questions. And you're going to answer them before you die." He produced a set of silver chains from somewhere, and before Sarah could protest, he'd locked them around her wrists. The silver burned against her skin, ensuring she couldn't heal, couldn't shift, couldn't fight back. "Welcome to Bloodmoon territory, little nightshade." Cale's smile was sharp as broken glass. "We have a lot to discuss." Sarah closed her eyes and wished she'd died in that alley behind the diner. It would have been kinder. Chapter 3. What do you do when your greatest enemy becomes your only hope? Sarah woke to the sound of water dripping and pain radiating through every inch of her body. The silver chains around her wrists burned constantly, a reminder that she was prisoner, not guest. The cave was larger than she'd initially realized. Torches lined the walls, casting dancing shadows. She was lying on furs in one corner, surprisingly soft considering her circumstances. Cale sat across from her, watching with those unsettling silver eyes. You're awake. It wasn't a question. Sarah tried to sit up and immediately regretted it. Her ribs screamed in protest. How long? 6 hours. Kale stood and moved toward her with predatory grace. Your injuries would have healed by now if not for the silver. Both the chains and whatever poison you've been injecting into yourself for years. It kept me hidden from you. Clearly not well enough. He crouched beside her. I want answers, Nightshade. Starting with why you're still alive. I ordered your entire bloodline eliminated 16 years ago. The casual way he said it made Sarah's stomach turn. I was 16. I hid in a crawl space while I listened to you murder my family. Then you know why it was necessary. I know you're a monster. Kale's hand shot out, gripping her jaw hard enough to bruise. Watch your tone. You're only alive because I allow it. Then kill me already. Sarah glared at him. That's what you do, right? Murder innocents? Your family were traitors. They sold pack secrets to hunters. 17 wolves died because of information your father provided. His voice was ice. That's not innocent. You're lying. Am I? Kale released her and stood. Your father made a deal with hunter organizations. Locations of pack territories, names of alpha families, weaknesses in our defenses. He gave them everything in exchange for money. When I found out, I did what any alpha king would do. I eliminated the threat. No. Sarah shook her head violently. My father would never betray his own kind. He was a good man. Good men don't get their families killed. The words hit like a physical blow. Sarah had spent 10 years telling herself her family was innocent, that they'd been murdered for no reason. But doubt crept in now, cold and unwelcome. What if Kale was telling the truth? I don't believe you, she whispered. I don't care what you believe. Kale began pacing. What I care about is the weapon your bloodline was hiding. Multiple rogues are willing to torture you for it. That means others know about it too. I need to know what it is and where it's hidden. There is no weapon. Sarah's frustration boiled over. Why does everyone think my family had some magical wolf-killing weapon? We were nobodies. We just wanted to be left alone. Your bloodline is Nightshade. One of the original packs, dating back centuries. Your ancestors served as executioners for corrupt alphas. They possessed abilities no other wolves had. Kale stopped pacing and fixed her with that intense stare. So yes, I believe there's a weapon. And I believe you know where it is. I don't. Then you're useless to me. He turned away, dismissive. Sarah felt panic rising. If she was useless, he'd kill her. She needed leverage, needed something to keep herself alive long enough to escape. Wait, the word came out desperate. I can help you find it. The weapon. Whatever it is. Just don't kill me yet. Kale glanced back. Why would I trust you? Because if there really is a weapon that can kill alphas, and rogues know about it, they'll keep hunting for it. Better to have me help you find it first. Sarah forced herself to meet his eyes. I'm the last Nightshade. If anyone can locate it, I can. It was a lie. She had no idea how to find something she didn't believe existed. But she'd buy time, figure out an escape plan. Kale studied her for a long moment. Then he moved so fast she didn't see him coming. He grabbed her arm, jerked up her sleeve, and pressed his hand against her inner wrist. Pain exploded through Sarah's entire body. She screamed. It felt like fire racing through her veins, burning her from the inside out. Her wolf rose up in response, slamming against the silver poisoning. The two forces collided and Sarah's body became a battlefield. Stop! She couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. What are you doing? Using Alpha Command. Kale's voice seemed to come from far away. Every wolf must submit to their alpha. It's biology. But you're not submitting. You're rejecting it. Sarah felt something tear inside her. Blood filled her mouth. Her vision went dark around the edges. Then Kale released her and she collapsed, gasping. Impossible. He stared at his hand like it had betrayed him. Only one bloodline could resist Alpha Command. The Nightshade line. Congratulations. Sarah coughed blood onto the cave floor. You figured out what I already told you. You don't understand. Kale's composure cracked for the first time. Your bloodline was declared extinct. I made sure of it. I watched your house burn with your family inside. Sarah's heart stopped. What? After we executed your parents, we burned everything. Standard protocol for traitor bloodlines. Nothing survives. He ran a hand through his hair, agitated. How did you escape? I wasn't home. The words came out hollow. I was at a friend's house. When I came back, everything was gone. I thought you'd taken their bodies. We left nothing to bury. Silence stretched between them. Sarah processed this new horror. Not only had Kale ordered her family's execution, but he'd burned their bodies. Erased them completely. She'd never had a chance to say goodbye. "You're a monster," she said again, quieter this time. "I'm a king." Kale's expression hardened again. "I do what's necessary to protect my people. Your father's betrayal cost lives. Good wolves, loyal wolves. I don't regret my actions." "You should." "Why?" "Because you say so." He laughed bitterly. "You're a naive child playing at survival. You have no idea what leadership requires. I know it shouldn't require murdering innocents. Your father forced my hand when he sided with hunters. The moment he gave them our secrets, he signed his family's death warrant." Kale moved closer, towering over her. "So if you want to blame someone for your pain, blame him. Not me." Sarah wanted to argue, to scream that her father would never betray anyone. But doubt poisoned her certainty. She'd been 16, kept sheltered from pack politics. What if she hadn't known her father as well as she thought? What if Kale was right? "In 3 days, you stand trial before my pack council," Kale said. "They'll decide if you're a threat that needs to be eliminated or if you have value worth keeping alive. Until then, you're bound to me." Bound. He pulled out a knife, and before Sarah could react, he cut his own palm. Blood welled up dark and thick. Then he grabbed her chained wrists and cut her palm too. "What are you doing?" Sarah tried to pull away, but the chains kept her trapped. Kale pressed their bleeding palms together. "Blood binding. An old magic. It means you can't run without me knowing exactly where you are. It means if you try to escape, I'll feel it. And it means for the next 3 days, you're connected to me whether you like it or not." Power surged through their joined hands. Sarah gasped as she felt something alien invade her mind. Emotions that weren't hers. Anger, suspicion, guilt, and underneath it all, bone-deep exhaustion. Kale's emotions. "I can feel you," she whispered in horror. "And I can feel you." His smile was grim. "Fear, rage, grief. You're drowning in it, little nightshade." He released her hand and Sarah scrambled backward. But the connection remained, a constant presence at the edge of her awareness. She could sense him even when she closed her eyes. This was worse than chains. 3 days, Kale repeated. "Cooperate, answer questions, and maybe the council will let you live. And if they don't, then I'll execute you myself. Properly this time." He turned and walked toward the cave entrance. Sarah watched him go, rage and despair warring inside her. Then something happened that changed everything. An explosion rocked the cave. Rock and dust rained down. Sarah covered her head, ears ringing from the blast. When the dust cleared, 3 wolves stood at the cave entrance. Not rogues. These were organized, disciplined. They wore tactical gear and carried weapons designed specifically for killing werewolves. Hunters. "Kill the Nightshade girl," the lead hunter ordered. "The Alpha King too if you get the chance." They raised their guns. Sarah's body moved before her brain caught up. She threw herself in front of Kale, shielding him with her own body. The first bullet hit her shoulder. The second her stomach. Both bullets burned with silver and something else. Poison designed specifically for her bloodline. Sarah collapsed, her world going dark. The last thing she felt was Kale catching her, his emotions flooding through the blood bond. Shock, rage, and something else. Fear. The Alpha King was afraid for her. Then everything went black. Chapter 4. Can you forgive someone when their emotions become your own? Sarah woke to agony. Not just physical pain from the bullets, but emotional torture bleeding through the blood bond. Kale's guilt crashed over her in waves so intense she couldn't tell where his feelings ended and hers began. She was in a bedroom. Soft sheets, dark furniture, windows showing a forest view. Pack territory. His territory. "You're awake." Kale sat in a chair beside the bed, looking like he hadn't slept in days. The healers removed the bullets. "You should be dead. That poison was designed specifically to kill Nightshade wolves." "Why am I not dead then?" "Because I did something forbidden." His voice was rough. "I marked you as my mate." Sarah's hand flew to her neck. She felt the raised skin there, the bite mark that would never fully heal. The permanent claim of an alpha. "You had no right." She tried to sit up, but her body screamed in protest. "You can't just mark someone without permission. That's sacred. You were dying in my arms." Kale's emotions pulsed through the bond. Desperation, fear, something she couldn't name. The mate bond can save a dying wolf if completed quickly enough. "I had seconds to decide. So you chose to bind me to you forever." Sarah's laugh was bitter. "The man who murdered my family is now my mate. That's perfect. Just perfect. I didn't have a choice." There's always a choice. She closed her eyes, feeling his guilt intensify. Through the bond, she could sense his memories trying to surface. What's happening? The blood binding and the mate mark together created something stronger than either alone. Cale stood and moved to the window, keeping his back to her. We can feel each other's emotions. And if the connection deepens, we'll start sharing memories. I don't want your memories. Too late. The first memory hit her like a punch to the gut. She was suddenly Cale, standing outside a burning house 16 years ago. She felt his satisfaction at completing a difficult task, his certainty that he'd done the right thing by eliminating traitors. Then doubt crept in, a voice, his beta Marcus, saying, "Are you sure they were all guilty? Even the children?" And Cale's response, "Traitor blood runs in families. Better to eliminate the whole line." The memory faded. Sarah gasped, tears streaming down her face. "You didn't even question it. You just killed them all. I believed the evidence." Cale turned, and she saw his own tears. "Marcus brought me proof. Documents showing your father's communications with hunters. Bank records of payments. I had no reason to doubt." Another memory surfaced, this one forcing its way through. Sarah saw her father, but through Cale's eyes. Her father was kneeling, begging, "Please, Alpha King. They have my wife. They took her 3 months ago. They said they'd kill her if I didn't cooperate. I had no choice." And Marcus, standing beside Cale, saying smoothly, "He's lying. Trying to save himself. We found no evidence of kidnapping." Cale's response, "Execute them all. Tonight." The memory ended. Both Sarah and Cale stood frozen, the truth settling between them like broken glass. "Your father was being blackmailed." Cale's voice was hollow. "Someone kidnapped your mother and forced him to betray the Pax. And I didn't believe him. You didn't even investigate." Sarah's rage burned through the bond, mixing with his guilt until neither could breathe properly. "You just murdered them based on your beta's word. I trusted Marcus with my life. He was my best friend for 20 years. Where is he now?" Sarah demanded. "I want to hear him explain why he lied. He's at Pack headquarters. I'll summon him immediately." Cale pulled out his phone, but before he could dial, alarms began blaring throughout the building. A Pack member burst through the door. "Alpha King, we're under attack. Someone breached the medical wing." Cale was moving instantly. "How many?" "Unknown. But they're heading toward your chambers. Toward the Nightshade girl." Sarah tried to stand, but her legs gave out. The poison was still in her system, still trying to kill her. Cale caught her before she hit the floor. "Stay here." He laid her back on the bed. "I'll handle this." "No." Sarah grabbed his arm. Through the bond, she felt his determination to protect her. "They're here for me. Let me help. You can barely stand. Then carry me. But I'm not hiding while people die because of me." Cale's jaw clenched. Then he scooped her up effortlessly. "You're impossible. You marked me. You're stuck with me." They made it to the hallway before the attackers appeared. 6 wolves in tactical gear, weapons drawn. But these weren't hunters. These were werewolves. Pack wolves based on their coordination. "Stand down," Cale commanded, his alpha voice rolling through the corridor. "You're attacking your own king." The lead wolf laughed. "You're not our king anymore. Not after you brought that abomination into our home. Sarah is under my protection. Sarah is a nightshade. Her bloodline should be extinct. You made a mistake letting her live, so we're correcting it." They opened fire. Cale twisted, using his body to shield Sarah. She felt bullets hit him, felt his pain through the bond. Rage exploded through her. These wolves were trying to kill her mate. Her mate. When had she started thinking of him that way? Sarah's wolf surged up despite the poison. Power flooded through her body, different from anything she'd felt before. The mate mark was amplifying her abilities, giving her access to strength she didn't know she possessed. She pushed out of Cale's arms and landed on her feet. Her eyes glowed silver, matching his. "You want to kill me?" Her voice came out layered, human and wolf together. "Come try." The attackers hesitated. They'd expected a weak, poisoned girl. Not whatever she was becoming. Sarah moved. Faster than she'd ever moved before. She disarmed the first attacker, broke the second one's arm, and had the third on the ground before they could react. The mate bond fed her Cale's combat experience, his instincts, his raw power. They fought back to back, moving like they'd trained together for years instead of being bound for less than a day. Every move Cale made, Sarah anticipated. Every opening she created, he exploited. Within minutes, all 6 attackers were subdued. "Who sent you?" Cale demanded, his hand around the lead wolf's throat. Someone who knows the truth. The wolf spat blood. The Nightshade girl isn't what you think. The prophecy said a Nightshade would destroy you. We're just trying to save the pack. What prophecy? Ask Marcus. He knows everything. The wolf's eyes glazed over. He'd taken a poison capsule, choosing death over interrogation. The others did the same. Within seconds, all 6 attackers were dead. Sarah stared at the bodies, her newfound strength fading. She collapsed against the wall. That poison they used on me. It wasn't just designed to kill Nightshades. It was designed to kill me specifically. Someone knows exactly what you are. Cale helped her stand. Someone who understands Nightshade bloodline weaknesses. Your beta Marcus seems to know a lot. I'm starting to realize that. Cale's emotions through the bond were dark, confused. I need answers. Now. They made their way to the pack council chambers. Marcus was already there, looking concerned. He rushed forward when he saw them. Thank the moon you're both safe. I heard about the attack. His eyes lingered on Sarah. Is she really worth all this trouble, Cale? Her presence is dividing the pack. We need to talk. Cale's voice was ice. About what happened 16 years ago. Marcus's expression flickered. Just for a second, but Sarah caught it. Fear. Of course. Whatever you need. Did you investigate the claim that Sarah's mother had been kidnapped before I executed her family? The question hung in the air. Marcus smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. There was no evidence of kidnapping. I told you that at the time. Did you look? Of course I looked. I'm your beta. I wouldn't lie to you. Through the bond, Sarah felt Cale's certainty crack. He'd trusted this man for 2 decades. Built his rule alongside him. And now doubt poisoned everything. I want to see the evidence again, Cale said. All of it. The documents, the bank records. Everything you used to prove the Nightshade family were traitors. Cale, that was 16 years ago. Those files are in deep storage. Then retrieve them. This is about her, isn't it? Marcus gestured at Sarah. She's gotten into your head. The mate bond is making you doubt your own judgment. The mate bond is showing me memories I'd forgotten. And they don't match what you told me. Marcus's expression hardened. You're making a mistake. That girl is manipulating you. Then prove me wrong. Show me the evidence. Silence stretched. Marcus's hand drifted toward his weapon. Sarah saw it before Cale did. He's going to run. Marcus bolted. He was fast, beta fast, but Cale was faster. They collided in the hallway, crashing through a door into an empty conference room. Why are you running? Cale pinned him against the wall. If you have nothing to hide, show me the files. There are no files. Marcus snarled. I destroyed them years ago. Why? Because they would have shown the truth. That I fabricated evidence. That I lied to you. That the Nightshade family was innocent. Marcus's eyes blazed. And I'd do it again. The prophecy said a Nightshade would destroy the most powerful alpha of the generation. I had to protect you. Cale released him like he'd been burned. You manipulated me into murdering an innocent family. I saved you. That girl's bloodline was dangerous. They possessed abilities that could kill alpha-born wolves. I eliminated a threat before it could destroy you. You turned me into a monster. Cale's voice broke. I killed children, Marcus. Because I trusted you. Sarah felt his anguish through the bond. It mixed with her own rage until she couldn't tell them apart. She stepped forward, her wolf rising. Where is my mother? Marcus laughed. Oh, she's alive. Barely. I've kept her locked up for 10 years, using her to breed more Nightshade wolves. Trying to create a weapon to protect Cale from the prophecy. Where? Sarah's hands became claws. You'll never find her. Marcus pulled out a device. But you will die trying. He pressed a button. Explosions rocked the building. Ceiling tiles crashed down. Support beams cracked. The entire pack headquarters was rigged to explode. Run! Cale grabbed Sarah and they sprinted for the exit. Behind them, Marcus's laughter echoed through the collapsing building. The prophecy will come true, Cale. She'll destroy you. I tried to stop it, but you wouldn't listen. They burst through the front doors seconds before the building imploded. Sarah and Cale rolled across the ground, debris raining around them. When the dust settled, dozens of pack members stood in shock, staring at their destroyed headquarters. Cale's home, his seat of power, reduced to rubble. And somewhere in that destruction, Marcus had escaped. He has my mother. Sarah's voice was hollow. She's been alive this whole time, and he's been torturing her. We'll find her. Cale pulled her close. Through the bond, she felt his determination mixing with crushing guilt. I swear on my life we'll find her. Why? Sarah looked up at him. Why do you care? You hated my family. Because I was wrong. His silver eyes met hers. Because I let my beta manipulate me into becoming the very thing I swore to fight against. And because you're my mate, and your pain is my pain now. Sarah wanted to hate him. Should hate him. But through the bond, she felt his sincerity. His regret. His desperate need to make things right. 7 days, she said quietly. What? The mate bond. It needs to be completed willingly within 7 days or I die. Rejection sickness. She touched the mark on her neck. So you have 7 days to help me find my mother. And if you do, I'll complete the bond. And if I don't, then I'll die, and you'll have to live with killing another nightshade. Sarah stepped back. Do we have a deal? Cale studied her for a long moment. Then he extended his hand. Deal. Your mother for the mate bond. She shook his hand, sealing their agreement. Neither noticed the figure watching from the shadows. A woman who looked exactly like Sarah, with the same face, same build, same silver eyes. But where Sarah's eyes held pain and determination, this woman's eyes held madness. Lyra smiled. Soon, she'd meet her sister properly. And one of them wouldn't survive. Chapter 5. What price would you pay to save someone who doesn't know you exist? Sarah woke to her body, trying to kill itself. Every cell screamed in agony. Her wolf was attacking her human side, trying to force rejection of the incomplete mate bond. Rejection sickness, the healers called it. A death sentence unless the bond was completed willingly. She had 6 days left. Drink this. Cale pressed a cup to her lips. Some kind of herbal mixture that tasted like dirt and smelled worse. It'll ease the pain. Temporarily. Sarah drank because the alternative was screaming. The medicine dulled the worst of the agony to a manageable torture. They were in a safe house on the edge of Blood Moon territory. After the headquarters explosion, Cale had moved his remaining loyal pack members to scattered locations. He didn't know who else Marcus had corrupted. Trust was a luxury they couldn't afford. I need to show you something. Sarah sat up slowly, every movement feeling like broken glass in her joints. When I got shot with that poison, something changed. I can see things now. What kind of things? Memories. In objects. She held out her hand. Give me something the attackers touched. Cale handed her a knife. One of the tactical blades the traitor pack members had carried. The moment Sarah's fingers closed around the handle, visions flooded her mind. She saw Marcus meeting with the attackers 3 days ago. Saw him handing them the specialized poison. Heard his voice. Kill the Nightshade girl before the mate bond stabilizes. Once it's complete, she'll be too powerful. The vision shifted. Marcus in an underground facility, standing before a cell. Inside the cell, a woman with gray hair and hollow eyes. Sarah's mother. Soon, Marcus was saying. Soon I'll have both daughters, and the weapon will be complete. Both daughters. The vision ended. Sarah dropped the knife, gasping. I have a sister. Her voice came out strangled. I have a twin sister. And Marcus knows about her. Cale went very still. That's impossible. The report said your mother only had one child. The reports were wrong. Or Marcus altered them. Sarah stood, ignoring the pain. My mother's alive. She's in an underground facility. And there's another girl who looks exactly like me. Through the bond, she felt Cale's shock mixing with her own desperate hope. Her mother was alive. Tortured, broken, but alive. And Sarah had a sister she'd never known existed. Can you find the facility using your visions? I can try. Sarah picked up the knife again, focusing harder. The visions came easier this time, like her body was learning how to channel this new ability. She saw corridors, concrete walls, steel doors. Medical equipment designed for torture disguised as research. She saw her mother strapped to a table, Marcus taking blood samples. And she saw another cell. A girl with Sarah's face, younger by a few years in the memory, screaming at Marcus. I'll kill you for what you did to her. I'll kill all of you. Where? Cale's voice pulled her back. Can you see location markers? Signs. Anything. North. Sarah's certainty grew. Mountains. There's a symbol on the wall in one memory. 3 crescent moons intersecting. Do you know it? That's the old Silvercrest territory. They were wiped out 8 years ago by hunters. Cale was already moving, grabbing weapons, supplies. There's an abandoned research facility there. I sent teams to investigate years ago, but they found nothing. Because Marcus made sure they didn't find anything. He's been using it this whole time. They assembled a team quickly. Only wolves Cale trusted absolutely, which meant only 5 others. Everyone else was suspect until Marcus was dealt with. The journey north took hours. Sarah spent the time fighting off waves of rejection sickness, each one worse than the last. Her body was dying by degrees, punishing her for the incomplete bond. "Why did you save me?" The question came out during a particularly bad wave. Sarah was curled in the back of the vehicle, shaking. "In the cave, when the hunters attacked. You could have let me die." Cale was driving, eyes on the road. But through the bond, she felt his emotions churning. "I don't know. Instinct. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." His hands tightened on the steering wheel. "When I saw you throw yourself in front of those bullets, something inside me broke. You just found out I murdered your family. You had every reason to let me die. But you protected me anyway. I wasn't thinking." "Exactly. You acted on instinct too." He glanced at her in the rearview mirror. Maybe that's what the mate bond is. 2 people whose instincts choose each other, even when logic says they shouldn't. Sarah wanted to argue, but another wave of sickness hit. She tasted blood. Time was running out faster than she'd thought. "We're here." One of the team members pointed ahead. The old Silvercrest facility. It looked abandoned. Concrete buildings slowly being reclaimed by forest, windows dark, no signs of life. The perfect cover. "Spread out," Cale ordered. "Look for entrance points. Underground access. Anything." They searched for an hour before finding it. A hidden elevator shaft, camouflaged beneath decades of debris. Someone had used it recently. Fresh footprints in the dust. "I'll go first." Cale started toward the elevator, but Sarah grabbed his arm. "We go together. That's the deal." Their eyes met. Through the bond, she felt his instinct to protect her warring with his understanding that she needed this. Needed to face Marcus, to save her mother herself. "Together," he agreed. The elevator descended into darkness. Emergency lighting flickered to life as they moved deeper underground. The facility was massive, sprawling in multiple directions. A maze designed to confuse and trap. But Sarah's new ability pulled her forward like a compass. She touched the walls as they walked, catching fragments of memories. Fear, pain, suffering. This place was soaked in anguish. "This way." She led them through the corridors, following the psychic trail. They found cells first. Dozens of them. Most empty, but some containing bodies. Sarah's stomach turned. These were wolves, but wrong somehow. Experimented on, altered, left to die. Marcus wasn't just torturing prisoners. One of Cale's team examined the bodies. He was trying to create something. Hybrid wolves, maybe. Combining bloodlines. For what purpose? "The prophecy," Sarah said quietly. "He wanted to create wolves strong enough to kill me before I could destroy Cale." They moved deeper. The corridors got colder, the lighting dimmer. Sarah felt her mother's presence getting stronger through her strange new sense. Then she heard it. A voice singing softly in the darkness. A lullaby her mother used to sing when Sarah was small. "Mom!" Sarah ran toward the sound. Cale and the team followed. They turned a corner and found the cell. Her mother was inside. Barely recognizable. Gray hair that used to be dark, skin stretched too tight over bones, eyes that had seen too much horror. But alive. "Mom!" Sarah fell to her knees at the cell door. "I'm here. I'm going to get you out." Her mother's eyes focused slowly. Recognition dawned. "Sarah? My little girl? I'm here." Tears streamed down Sarah's face. "I thought you were dead. I thought I was alone." "You were never alone." Her mother's voice was paper thin. "Your sister. Where's your sister?" "I don't know. I just found out about her. They took her. When you were born, they took her. Said one daughter was enough." Her mother's tears mixed with Sarah's. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't protect either of you." Cale was already working on the cell lock. It was designed to resist alpha strength, but he was patient, methodical. The lock clicked open. Sarah rushed inside, wrapping her arms around her mother carefully. The woman was so fragile, like she might break from a strong wind. "He comes every day," her mother whispered. "Takes my blood. Says he's building an army. Says he'll kill the Alpha King and rule all packs. Marcus won't hurt anyone anymore." Sarah helped her mother stand. "We're getting you out of here." "It's a trap." Her mother gripped Sarah's arm with surprising strength. "He knew you'd come. He's been waiting." Alarms blared. Lights blazed to full brightness. Steel doors slammed down, cutting off their escape routes. And Marcus's voice echoed through speakers. "Welcome, Alpha King. And little Sarah. I was wondering when you'd figure it out." Cale spun, weapon drawn. Show yourself, traitor. In time. First, let me introduce you to my masterpiece. The cell door across from them opened. Meet the real threat to your prophecy, Kale. Meet Lyra Nightshade. A girl stepped out. She looked exactly like Sarah, but her eyes were cold, empty. A killer's eyes. Hello, sister. Lyra's smile was terrible. Marcus has told me so much about you. How you abandoned our family. How you ran while they burned. How you're the reason our mother suffered. That's not true. Sarah moved in front of her mother protectively. I was just a child. I didn't know. Excuses. Lyra drew a blade. Silver, etched with symbols that made Sarah's skin crawl. Marcus saved me. Raised me. Trained me. And now I'm going to kill you and the Alpha King, just like he wants. She attacked. Lyra moved like death itself. Fast, precise, merciless. Sarah barely got her weapon up in time to block. The impact sent shockwaves up her arms. They fought through the corridor, sister against sister. Every move Sarah made, Lyra countered. They were perfectly matched because they were the same. Same bloodline, same abilities, same instincts. But Sarah had something Lyra didn't. The mate bond. Through the connection, Kale fed her his strength. His experience. His raw power. Sarah used it, channeling alpha energy into her attacks. Lyra faltered. What is this? You're stronger than you should be. Because I'm not alone anymore. Sarah drove her back. Whatever Marcus told you, it's lies. Our family loved us. Our mother never stopped searching for you. Liar. Lyra's control cracked. She let them take me. She kept you and threw me away. They stole you. Marcus stole you to hurt us all. Lyra hesitated. Just for a second. But it was enough. Sarah disarmed her, kicking the blade away. She had Lyra pinned, could end this right now. Their eyes met. Mirror images. One raised in hiding, one raised in hate. I don't want to kill you, Sarah said. You're my sister. My blood. Please. Lyra's expression crumbled. For just a moment, she looked young, lost. He's all I have. No. You have me. You have our mother. You have a choice. A gunshot rang out. Lyra jerked, blood blooming across her chest. She collapsed into Sarah's arms. Marcus stood at the end of the corridor, gun raised. Disappointing. I trained her better than that. But if she won't kill you, she's useless to me. Kale roared and charged. Marcus fired multiple shots, but Kale was too fast, too furious. He crashed into Marcus, and they went down in a tangle of claws and fury. Sarah held her sister, watching blood pour from the wound. No, no, no. Stay with me. Please stay with me. I'm sorry. Lyra's voice was fading. I wanted to believe him. It was easier than being alone. You're not alone. Not anymore. Sarah pressed her hands against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Mom, help me. Her mother stumbled over, already working. The bullet hit her lung. We need to get her to a healer immediately, or she'll die. Down the corridor, Kale and Marcus's fight was savage. They'd both shifted partially, more monster than man. Marcus was strong, but Kale was stronger, driven by rage and betrayal. You manipulated me for 20 years. Kale slammed Marcus into a wall. Made me into a murderer. I made you into a king. Marcus laughed even while bleeding. You were weak before me. Soft. I gave you the strength to rule. You gave me nightmares. Kale's hand closed around Marcus's throat. Every innocent the first killed. Every life I destroyed based on your lies. That blood is on your hands. Then kill me. Prove you're still the monster I created. Kale froze. His hand trembled. Do it, Marcus screamed. Kill me like you killed the Nightshade family. Or admit you've gone weak because of that girl. Through the bond, Sarah felt Kale's turmoil. He wanted Marcus dead. Wanted revenge for the years of manipulation. But he also wanted to prove he'd changed. That he wasn't the killer Marcus had shaped him into. Kale. Sarah's voice cut through. Let him live. Let him stand trial. Let everyone see what he really is. You would spare him? Kale didn't look away from Marcus. After everything he's done? I would break the cycle. No more revenge killings. No more blood for blood. Sarah held her dying sister. My mother said to break the cycle. This is how we do it. Kale's hand loosened. Marcus dropped to the ground, gasping. You're weak, Marcus spat. Both of you. And weak kings don't survive. He pulled a detonator from his pocket. If I can't have my perfect king, nobody can. He pressed the button. This whole facility is rigged to explode. We all die here. Alarms blared. A computerized voice announced, self-destruct sequence initiated. Evacuation in 60 seconds. Run! Cale grabbed Sarah, helping her lift Lyra. Everyone out now. They ran through corridors that were already collapsing. Ceiling tiles crashed down. Support beams buckled. Sarah's mother stumbled, exhausted. One of Cale's team members scooped her up and kept running. 50 seconds. They reached the elevator shaft. No time to wait for the elevator. They'd have to climb. Go! Cale boosted them up one by one. His team first, then Sarah's mother, then Sarah carrying Lyra. 30 seconds. Sarah climbed with superhuman speed, driven by desperation. Below her, Cale followed, making sure everyone got out. 20 seconds. They burst from the elevator shaft into moonlight. The forest had never looked so beautiful. 10 seconds. They ran. Put distance between themselves and the facility. Sarah's body was failing from rejection sickness and exhaustion, but she didn't stop. 5 seconds. They dove behind a rocky outcrop. 0. The explosion turned night into day. The underground facility imploded, then erupted, sending flames and debris hundreds of feet into the air. The shockwave knocked them flat. When the smoke cleared, there was nothing left. Just a massive crater where Marcus's torture facility had stood. Sarah lay on her back, Lyra cradled against her chest. Her sister was barely breathing, blood soaking them both. "Stay with me," Sarah whispered. "Please. I just found you. Tell Mom I'm sorry." Lyra's eyes were unfocused. "Tell her I tried to be strong. Tell her yourself." Tears blurred Sarah's vision. "You're going to be fine." But she wasn't. They both knew it. The bullet had done too much damage, and they were too far from help. Lyra's hand found Sarah's. "Finish it. The bond. Save yourself." "What?" "He's not the enemy." Lyra coughed blood. "Mom was right. Trust the mark. Break the cycle." Her grip tightened. "Love him. Someone should get a happy ending." Her hand went limp. Sarah screamed. The sound was inhuman, full of grief and rage and loss. She'd just met her sister, and already she was gone. Cale pulled her close, his own grief echoing through the bond. Around them, the survivors watched silently. Sarah's mother crawled over and wrapped her arms around both her daughters. The living and the dead. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry I couldn't save you both. You saved me." Sarah held her mother tight. "You stayed alive so I could find you. That's enough." They stayed like that until sunrise. Morning. Healing. Beginning to understand the cost of survival. Marcus was dead, buried under tons of rubble. But his words haunted them. The prophecy was never about you destroying me. It was about what you'll become. What did that mean? Sarah looked at Cale through her tears. 5 days left. "I know." He touched the mate mark on her neck. "I'll spend every one of them earning your forgiveness." "You already have it." The words surprised her, but they were true. Through the bond, she'd felt his genuine remorse. His desperate need to make things right. "I forgive you, Cale. Not because you deserve it. Because I choose it." His eyes widened. "Sarah, my sister died telling me to break the cycle. To choose love over hate. So that's what I'm doing." She stood slowly, cradling Lyra's body. "Help me bury her. Then we complete the bond. Together. Because in the end, that was the only way to honor the dead. By choosing to live." Chapter 6. How do you move forward when the past keeps pulling you back? They buried Lyra at sunrise in a clearing surrounded by nightshade flowers. The plant that gave their bloodline its name. Beautiful, deadly, misunderstood. Like her sister. Sarah stood over the grave, numb. 4 days left until rejection sickness killed her. 4 days to complete a mate bond with the man who'd destroyed her family. Except he hadn't. Marcus had destroyed her family. Marcus had manipulated everything. But Cale had pulled the trigger. "I can't do this." Sarah stepped back from the grave. "I thought I could. I thought forgiving you would be enough. But standing here, knowing my sister died because of Marcus's schemes, knowing my mother was tortured for 10 years. Her voice broke. "I can't just forget. I'm not asking you to forget." Cale stood on the opposite side of the grave. "I'm asking you to survive. Maybe I don't want to survive this." Sarah touched the mate mark. It burned constantly now, her body rejecting the incomplete bond. Maybe dying is easier than living with all this pain. Her mother's hand landed on her shoulder. "Sarah, look at me." Sarah turned. Her mother looked better after medical treatment, but still fragile. Still bearing the scars of a decade of torture. "Revenge keeps you trapped in the past," her mother said quietly. "I spent 10 years in that cell, dreaming of killing Marcus. planning how I'd make him suffer. That hatred was the only thing keeping me alive. She cupped Sarah's face. But it also made me a prisoner long before Marcus locked me in that cage. How did you let it go? I didn't. Not until I saw you holding your sister, crying over her body. In that moment, I realized something. Her mother's eyes filled with tears. Love is stronger than hate. Loss is stronger than revenge. Lyra died telling you to break the cycle. Don't dishonor her sacrifice by choosing death. But I can't just move on like nothing happened. Nobody's asking you to. Kale circled the grave to stand beside her. I'm asking you to live despite what happened. To choose yourself over the ghosts. Through the bond, Sarah felt his sincerity. His guilt was a constant ache that mirrored her own grief. They were both prisoners of the past. Maybe that was why the mate bond had chosen them. Two broken people who needed to learn how to heal. 3 days, Sarah said. Give me 3 more days to find peace with this. Then I'll complete the bond. You might not have 3 days. The rejection sickness is getting worse. Then I'll fight it, like I've fought everything else. She looked at her mother. Will you help me? I need to understand our bloodline. What we can do. Who we really are. Her mother nodded. I'll tell you everything. They left Lyra's grave and returned to the safe house. Over the next hours, Sarah's mother revealed truths that had been hidden for generations. The Nightshade bloodline wasn't just executioners, her mother explained. We were judges. Protectors. When an alpha became corrupt, drunk on power, our family would step in. We could see the truth in memories, in objects, in blood. We decided who lived and who died. That sounds terrifying, Sarah said. It was. That's why other packs feared us. We had the power to destroy anyone, including Alphaborns who thought themselves untouchable. Her mother's expression darkened. About 30 years ago, the packs made a decision. They declared our bloodline too dangerous to exist. They wanted us extinct. Marcus mentioned a prophecy. Yes, an old seer predicted that the last Nightshade would destroy the most powerful alpha of her generation. When you and Lyra were born, that prophecy became real. The packs panicked. Kale had been listening silently. Now he spoke. Marcus used that fear. He convinced me your family was betraying us, but really, he was just eliminating a threat. A threat to his plans, Sarah's mother corrected. Marcus wanted to control you, Kale. Shape you into his perfect weapon. But he knew if a Nightshade judged you and found you wanting, she could destroy you. So he had to eliminate us first. He almost succeeded. Sarah felt the rejection sickness crawling through her veins. If I die, the bloodline dies with me. Not quite. Her mother hesitated. I need to tell you something. About the weapon everyone keeps asking about. Sarah leaned forward. It's real. In a way. The weapon isn't an object. It's you. Your bloodline, your abilities. Her mother took her hand. A fully awakened Nightshade can kill any wolf, even an Alphaborn, with just a touch. You see memories in objects now. Imagine what you could do to a living wolf. You could see every sin, every crime, every dark thought. And if you judged them unworthy, you could stop their heart with your will alone. Horror filled Sarah. I don't want that power. None of us did. That's why most Nightshades suppressed their abilities. Lived quietly. Tried to be normal. Her mother's grip tightened. But you can't suppress it anymore. The mate bond awakened everything. In a few days, you'll be the most powerful wolf alive. Or I'll be dead from rejection sickness. That too. They sat in silence, processing. Finally, Kale stood. We need to move. If Marcus had contingency plans, his allies might come looking for us. Where can we go? Sarah asked. Your pack is fractured. Half of them tried to kill me. Then we find out who's loyal and who's not. Kale's alpha authority returned. I call a pack meeting. Everyone attends. And you use your abilities to judge them. You want me to read their minds? I want you to find the traitors before they strike again. His eyes met hers. Can you do that? Sarah thought about Lyra's death. About her mother's torture. About a decade of running and hiding. Yes, she said. I can do that. The pack meeting was tense. 200 wolves gathered in a forest clearing, wary and suspicious. Kale stood before them, radiating alpha power. Our home was destroyed by a traitor, he announced. Beta Marcus manipulated us all. He planted false evidence, turned us against each other, and tried to kill your alpha king. Now he's dead. But I need to know who else was working with him. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. I'm giving everyone a choice, Kale continued. Come forward now, confess your involvement, and face justice. or stay silent and let Sarah Nightshade judge you. Fear spiked through the gathering. Everyone knew what nightshades could do. You're letting that abomination touch us? Someone shouted. That abomination is my mate. Kale's voice was ice. Disrespect her again and face my wrath. Silence fell. So, Kale looked over his pack. Anyone want to confess? No one moved. Fine. Sarah, they're yours. Sarah stepped forward. She'd been dreading this, but her mother had taught her how to control the ability, how to read wolves without destroying them. She moved through the crowd, touching shoulders, arms, hands. Each touch brought a flood of memories. Most wolves were innocent, confused, scared. But some. She stopped in front of a young male. You knew. Marcus told you about the assassination attempt, and you said nothing. The wolf's eyes widened. I was afraid. He said he'd kill my family if I spoke up. Step aside. Sarah pointed to her left. You'll answer for your silence, but you live. She continued. Found 12 wolves who'd known about Marcus's plans. 3 who'd actively helped him. And 1 who'd known about Sarah's mother and done nothing. By the end, 17 wolves stood separated from the pack. Guilty but to varying degrees. What do we do with them? Kale asked. Sarah looked at the guilty wolves. Saw their fear, their regret, their desperate hope for mercy. Exile, she said. They leave pack territory and never return. If they come back, they die. That's too lenient, someone protested. No. Sarah turned to face the pack. Marcus wanted us to tear each other apart, to keep killing until there was nothing left. I won't give him that victory. She looked at Kale. We break the cycle. We choose mercy. Kale studied her for a long moment. Then he nodded. Exile. You have until sunset to leave pack lands. The guilty wolves fled. The rest of the pack watched Sarah with new eyes. Not fear exactly, but respect. Understanding. She'd had the power to kill them all. She'd chosen mercy instead. Maybe that was what the prophecy really meant. She wouldn't destroy the Alpha King. She'd destroy the old ways. The cycle of violence and revenge. That night, Sarah's rejection sickness nearly killed her. She woke screaming, her body trying to tear itself apart. Blood poured from her nose, her ears, her eyes. The mate bond was unraveling, taking her with it. Kale held her through it, feeding her strength through the bond. Fight it. Stay with me. Can't. Sarah's vision was going dark. Hurts too much. Then let me help. Kale bit his own wrist and pressed it to her mouth. Drink. Alpha blood will slow the rejection. Sarah drank. The blood burned going down, but it dulled the worst pain. Gave her enough clarity to breathe. 2 days left, Kale said quietly. You're running out of time. I know. What do you need? To complete the bond. What do you need from me? Sarah looked at him through tears and blood. The truth. All of it. I need to see your memories of that night. When you killed my family. I need to understand who you really are. That will break you. I'm already broken. At least this way I'll know why. Kale closed his eyes. Then he took her hand and opened the bond completely. No barriers, no protection. Just raw truth. The memories crashed into Sarah like a wave. She saw through Kale's eyes. Saw him receive Marcus's evidence against her family. Saw his genuine belief that he was doing the right thing. Saw him order the execution with a heavy heart, thinking he was protecting his pack. She felt his satisfaction when it was done. A threat eliminated. Then she felt the moment years later, when doubt first appeared. A small thing. An inconsistency in Marcus's story. Kale had pushed it aside, trusted his beta, but the seed was planted. More memories. Kale training young wolves, teaching them honor and strength. Kale punishing rogues who hurt innocents. Kale building a pack based on loyalty and justice. He genuinely believed he was doing good. And maybe he had been. Except for the one time he was manipulated into murdering an innocent family. The memory that haunted him most wasn't the execution itself. It was afterward. Finding Sarah's bedroom, seeing her things. A stuffed animal on the bed. Drawings on the wall. Evidence of a child who'd lived there. A child he'd made an orphan. That was when Kale had started to change. Started questioning. Started becoming the man he was now instead of the weapon Marcus had forged. The memories faded. Sarah found herself back in the present, tears streaming down her face. You were a monster, she whispered. But you didn't want to be. You just didn't know any better. That's not an excuse. No, but it's an explanation. Sarah touched his face. You've spent 16 years trying to be better. Trying to undo the damage. That has to count for something. Through the bond, she felt his desperate hope. Does it? Does it count enough? Sarah closed her eyes. Thought about Lyra's last words. Thought about her mother choosing love over hate. Thought about breaking cycles and choosing life. Yes, she said finally. It counts enough. She kissed him. The mate bond flared to life, recognizing acceptance, recognition, choice. This wasn't forced anymore. This was Sarah choosing Cale despite everything. Choosing to live despite the pain. The bond began to solidify, weaving them together completely. Sarah felt her rejection sickness retreating, her body finally accepting what her heart had decided. When they pulled apart, Cale was staring at her with wonder. You really forgive me. I really do. Sarah managed a weak smile. Don't make me regret it. Never. They held each other as the bond completed. Around them, the pack felt the shift. Their alpha king had a true mate now. A Luna who could judge them, guide them, protect them. Everything was changing. But in a safe house 200 miles away, another change was brewing. A figure sat in darkness, watching video footage of Sarah judging the pack. The figure smiled. So the prophecy comes true after all, the woman whispered. Marcus failed, but I won't. The Nightshade girl will destroy the Alpha King. Just like predicted. She stood, revealing a face identical to Sarah's. Identical to Lyra's. Because Lyra hadn't been a twin. She'd been a triplet. And the third sister was just getting started. Chapter 7. What would you do if everything you believed was a lie? Sarah woke to screaming. She bolted upright, the mate bond flaring with Cale's alarm. They were under attack. Again. But this time was different. She ran outside and stopped cold. The clearing was full of wolves, but they weren't attacking. They were fleeing. Running from something in the forest. Then Sarah saw what they were running from. Wolves that looked wrong. Their eyes glowed with an unnatural light. Their movements were too fast, too aggressive. And they were hunting pack members with ruthless efficiency. Hybrids, Cale breathed beside her. Marcus's experiments. They survived. Sarah counted quickly. 12 of them. Just like Marcus had bragged about before he died. 12 unstoppable killing machines created with Nightshade blood. Her blood, probably. Or her mother's. Or Lyra's. We need to fight, Sarah said. You're barely recovered from rejection sickness. And they're killing your pack. She shifted, feeling her wolf surge up stronger than ever before. The complete mate bond had amplified everything. Let's go. They charged together. The battle was chaos. These hybrids were faster, stronger than normal wolves. They fought without fear, without pain, like machines programmed to kill. Sarah used her Nightshade abilities, touching them to see their memories, find their weaknesses. What she saw horrified her. These wolves had been taken as children, experimented on for years, injected with blood from multiple bloodlines until they became something new, something monstrous. And they were suffering, trapped inside bodies they couldn't control, forced to kill even when they didn't want to. We have to help them. Sarah shouted to Cale. They're trying to kill us. They can't stop. They're prisoners in their own bodies. Sarah dodged a hybrid's attack and touched its face. The connection formed instantly. She saw inside its mind, saw the person trapped beneath the monster. A young girl, maybe 15, taken from her family 5 years ago. I'm sorry, Sarah whispered. Then she used her Nightshade power. She'd never killed before. Never used her bloodline's darkest ability. But looking into this girl's tortured mind, Sarah understood mercy. She stopped the hybrid's heart. The creature collapsed. Dead, but finally free. Sarah moved to the next one. And the next. Each time, she saw their suffering. Each time, she gave them peace. By the time she finished, 12 hybrids lay dead. 12 people who'd been stolen and twisted into weapons. And Sarah had killed them all. She collapsed to her knees, shaking. The pack stared at her with fear and awe. She'd just done what Nightshades were famous for. Judge, jury, and executioner. Sarah. Cale knelt beside her. You saved them. Gave them mercy. I killed them. You freed them. He pulled her close. There's a difference. Before Sarah could respond, clapping echoed through the clearing. Everyone spun toward the sound. A woman stepped from the shadows. She looked exactly like Sarah. Same face, same build, same silver eyes. But this wasn't Lyra. Sarah felt it through her Nightshade senses. This was someone else entirely. Impressive show, sister, the woman said. I'm almost sad I have to kill you now. Who are you? Sarah stood slowly, Cale at her side. I'm Lyra. The real Lyra. The woman smiled. The girl you buried? That was just a soldier Marcus trained. Someone he named after me to throw everyone off. I'm the actual twin. Your real sister. Sarah's world tilted. That's impossible. Is it? Think about it. Marcus was smart. He wouldn't show you his real weapon until the perfect moment. Lyra spread her arms. Surprise. I'm the perfect moment. Through her nightshade abilities, Sarah reached out, trying to read this woman. What she felt made her blood run cold. Lyra was telling the truth. She really was Sarah's twin sister. But unlike the girl they'd buried, this Lyra had been with Marcus from birth. Raised to hate Sarah specifically. Why? Sarah's voice broke. If you're really my sister, why do you want to kill me? Because Marcus told me the truth. Lyra's smile vanished. He showed me the prophecy. A nightshade will destroy the most powerful alpha. You think that means you'll destroy Kale? She laughed. No. It means I'll destroy you. You're the most powerful alpha now. The complete mate bond made you stronger than any regular alpha-born. And I'm going to kill you like the prophecy demands. The prophecy was about me, Kale said. I'm the Alpha King. You were. But Sarah's stronger now. She has nightshade abilities plus alpha power from the bond. Lyra drew a weapon. A blade that looked familiar. Marcus was wrong about a lot of things, but he was right about one. The prophecy has to be fulfilled. And I'll be the one to do it. She attacked. But Sarah was ready this time. She met Lyra in the middle, and they crashed together like mirror images. They fought through the clearing. Every move Sarah made, Lyra countered because they thought the same, moved the same, were the same. Except they weren't. Sarah had Kale's strength flowing through the mate bond. She had her mother's lessons. She had love worth fighting for. Lyra had hate, rage, and loneliness. Stop! Sarah pinned Lyra against a tree. We don't have to do this. You're my sister. We can find another way. There is no other way. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. Don't you get it? I was raised for one purpose. Kill the Nightshade twin and fulfill the prophecy. If I don't, I'm nothing. I'm useless. You're not useless. You're my sister. I don't want to be your sister. Lyra screamed. I want to be enough on my own. But I'm not. I'm just Marcus's tool, and now he's dead, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be anymore. Sarah understood then. Lyra wasn't fighting her. She was fighting the fact that her entire life had been a lie. Come with us, Sarah said gently. Meet our mother. She thought you were dead. She mourned you every day for 26 years. She'll want to know you. She threw me away. No. Marcus stole you. There's a difference. Sarah released her hold slightly. Please. Give us a chance. Give yourself a chance. For a moment, Lyra wavered. Sarah felt it through their blood connection. The desperate want to believe, to belong, to finally come home. Then a gunshot rang out. Lyra jerked. Blood bloomed across her chest. She stared down in shock. Sarah spun. Marcus stood at the edge of the clearing. Alive. Burned and scarred from the explosion, but alive. I should have known, he rasped. You're too soft, Lyra. Just like your sister. Useless. He fired again. Kale moved. He grabbed Sarah and Lyra both, pulling them out of the line of fire. Marcus's bullets hit trees instead of flesh. How? Kale's voice was pure rage. How are you alive? I had escape tunnels. Backup plans. Unlike you, I actually think ahead. Marcus reloaded his weapon. I triggered the explosion early and escaped while you all ran. Been watching ever since, waiting for the right moment. He aimed at Sarah. This is that moment. Pack wolves charged him. Marcus shot them down efficiently. He'd brought more weapons this time. More plans. More backup. And behind him, more wolves appeared. Rogues, loners, mercenaries. He'd hired an army. You can't win this, Marcus called out. I have 50 wolves and unlimited ammunition. You have a bleeding twin, a weakened Luna, and a pack full of cowards. We have each other, Sarah shouted back. That's more than you'll ever have. Marcus's laugh was cruel. How sweet. You'll die together. How romantic. Lyra coughed blood. He's right. This is hopeless. No. Sarah turned to her sister. You said you were raised to kill me. To fulfill the prophecy. So fulfill it differently. Sarah grabbed her hand. Help me kill him instead. Lyra's eyes widened. That's not what the prophecy means. Then let's change what it means. Sarah pulled her to her feet. We're nightshades. We judge. We decide. So let's judge Marcus and find him wanting. A smile slowly spread across Lyra's face. I like that interpretation better. Can you fight? I can die fighting. That's close enough. The sisters stood together, facing Marcus's army. Beside them, Kale rallied his pack. For Blood Moon, he roared. For your families. For your home. The pack charged. The battle was brutal. Marcus's mercenaries were skilled, but Blood Moon wolves fought with desperate fury. They'd lost their headquarters, their beta had betrayed them, their alpha king had nearly died. They were done being victims. Sarah and Lyra fought side by side, their nightshade abilities working in harmony. They touched enemies and saw their darkest secrets, their weaknesses, their fears. Then they exploited them ruthlessly. Kale was a force of nature, his alpha power amplified by his mate bond with Sarah. He tore through mercenaries like paper. But Marcus had planned for this. He'd brought silver weapons, nightshade poison, and something worse. Explosives. He detonated charges around the clearing. Trees erupted in flames. The ground shook. Pack members were thrown by the blasts. In the chaos, Marcus moved toward Sarah. She didn't see him coming until his blade was at her throat. Prophecy fulfilled, he whispered. The Nightshade twin dies. Just like I always wanted. Lyra screamed. No. She threw herself at Marcus. Her own wound reopened from the effort, but she didn't stop. She crashed into him, knocking his blade away from Sarah's throat. They went down in a tangle. Run! Lyra gasped to Sarah. Get out of here. I'm not leaving you. You have to. Lyra pinned Marcus, but he was stronger. He'd throw her off any second. Tell Mom I'm sorry. Tell her I wish I'd come home sooner. Lyra, no. Marcus shoved Lyra off. But as she flew backward, Lyra grabbed his weapon. A hunter blade, designed specifically for killing wolves. She activated it. The blade heated to extreme temperatures, turning white hot. And she drove it into Marcus's chest. Then she drove the other end into her own chest. They died together. Killer and victim. Creator and weapon. Twin and torturer. Marcus's last words were a curse. The prophecy will still come true. Lyra's last words were a whisper. I'm glad I met you, sister. Then both went still. Sarah collapsed beside them, screaming. She'd just found her sister and lost her in the same day. The battle ended. Marcus's mercenaries fled when they saw their leader dead. The pack stood victorious but battered. And Sarah held her sister's body, just like she'd held the other Lyra days before. Why do I keep losing everyone? She cried. Kale knelt beside her. Because you love them. And love always costs something. It costs too much. I know. He wrapped his arms around her. I know. They stayed like that until sunrise. Mourning. Surviving. Beginning to understand that winning sometimes feels like losing. Because the war was over. But the prophecy's shadow still remained. Marcus's final words haunted them. What did he mean? How could the prophecy still come true? They'd find out soon enough. Chapter 8. When does revenge end and healing begin? They buried Lyra beside the first girl Marcus had named Lyra. 2 graves for 2 sisters Sarah never got to know. Her mother stood beside her, silent tears streaming. She'd lost both daughters in the span of days. The grief was unimaginable. I should have fought harder, her mother whispered. When they took her as a baby, I should have never stopped searching. Marcus would have killed you. Then none of us would have survived. Sarah took her mother's hand. You did what you could with impossible choices. Did I? Or did I just give up? Mom, look at me. Sarah waited until her mother met her eyes. You survived 10 years of torture. You kept your mind intact. You remembered us. That took more strength than fighting ever could. Her mother pulled her close. They grieved together while the pack watched respectfully. Kale organized the cleanup. The clearing was destroyed. They'd lost 17 pack members in the battle. Dozens more were injured. But they'd won. Marcus was dead. His army was scattered. The immediate threat was over. So why did Sarah feel like something terrible was still coming? I need to show you something, her mother said later. They were back at the safe house, away from the pack. About your bloodline. About the prophecy. She pulled out an old journal. Pages yellowed with age, covered in elegant handwriting. This belonged to my grandmother. She was the Nightshade Elder before everything fell apart. Her mother opened to a marked page. She recorded the full prophecy. The version Marcus knew was incomplete. Sarah read aloud. When the moon runs red with innocent blood, a Nightshade twin will rise. She will destroy the most powerful alpha of her generation, but in destroying him, she will save them all. The cycle breaks. The bloodlines merge. And from death comes eternal life. What does that mean? I don't know. Prophecies are deliberately vague. Her mother traced the words. But I think Marcus only heard the first part. A Nightshade will destroy the alpha. He spent decades trying to prevent it, by making it happen himself. Sarah understood now. He created the circumstances that led to his own death. Self-fulfilling prophecy. A classic trap. But what about the rest? The bloodlines merge? From death comes eternal life. Sarah felt uneasy. That sounds ominous. Or hopeful. Depends on how you interpret it. Her mother closed the journal. I think it means you and Kale. Your bloodlines merging through the mate bond. Something new being created from the ashes of the old. Maybe. But Sarah wasn't sure. The prophecy felt unfinished somehow. Like there was still one more twist waiting. That night, she couldn't sleep. The mate bond hummed with Kale's concern. He was in a meeting with pack elders, but his attention was split between them and her. She stepped outside for air. The forest was quiet except for night sounds. Peaceful. Too peaceful. Sarah's nightshade senses flared. Something was wrong. She reached out with her abilities, trying to sense threats. What she found made her heart stop. Someone was watching her. Someone whose mind felt familiar but twisted. Someone who knew things they shouldn't. Sarah spun toward the tree line. Show yourself. A figure stepped out. For a moment, Sarah thought she was looking in a mirror. Then she realized the truth. This wasn't Lyra. This wasn't anyone she knew. This was a third sister. Hello, Sarah, the woman said. My name is Luna. I'm the triplet you never knew existed. Sarah's world tilted. That's impossible. My mother said she had twins. Your mother thought she had twins. The third baby was taken before she even knew. Luna smiled sadly. I was Marcus's deepest secret. His final weapon. Why are you here? Because Marcus failed, but his work wasn't finished. Luna gestured at herself. He raised me different than Lyra. Not as a killer. As a builder. A creator. I don't understand. The hybrids you killed? I made them. The poisons that nearly destroyed you? I designed them. The prophecy that's haunted us all? I'm the one who'll complete it. Luna's eyes glowed silver. I'm going to destroy Kale. Just like predicted. No. Sarah moved to attack, but Luna was faster. She touched Sarah's forehead, and everything went dark. When Sarah woke, she was in chains. Real chains, not just silver. These were designed specifically for nightshade wolves. She was in a laboratory. Sterile, white, full of equipment she didn't recognize. Luna worked at a computer, not looking at her. You're awake. Good. I need you conscious for this. For what? The final experiment. Luna turned. See, Marcus wanted to create weapons to protect Kale from the prophecy. But I realized he had it backward. The prophecy isn't a threat. It's a promise. What are you talking about? A nightshade will destroy the most powerful alpha. Luna approached slowly. That's you, Sarah. After the mate bond, you became stronger than any alpha born. You're the most powerful alpha now. Horror dawned. You're going to kill me. No. I'm going to destroy you. There's a difference. Luna pulled out a syringe. This contains a serum I've been perfecting for years. It will strip your nightshade abilities completely. Make you human. Powerless. Why? What's the point? Because the prophecy must be fulfilled. And this is the kindest way. Luna's expression softened. I'm not cruel, Sarah. I don't want to hurt you. But if I don't complete Marcus's work, everything he suffered for means nothing. Marcus was insane. He tortured our mother. Killed our sister. Destroyed countless lives. He did what he thought was necessary. Luna prepared the injection. Just like I'm doing now. The door exploded inward. Kale stood there, eyes blazing with alpha fury. Step away from my mate. Luna sighed. Of course you found us. The mate bond. Let her go. Now. I can't. Not until the prophecy is fulfilled. Luna raised the syringe toward Sarah's neck. Don't make me hurt her. You're already hurting her. Kale charged. Luna moved impossibly fast. She jabbed the syringe into her own neck instead. The serum flooded her system, and she started screaming. Sarah watched in horror as Luna collapsed. Her body convulsed. Blood poured from her eyes, her nose, her ears. What did you do? Sarah strained against her chains. The serum, Luna gasped. Not perfected. I lied, it kills. Why would you inject yourself? Because. Luna's smile was peaceful despite the pain. The prophecy, destroy the most powerful alpha. I'm Nightshade 2, made myself powerful. Now I destroy myself. Prophecy fulfilled. Understanding crashed through Sarah. Luna had manipulated everything. Made herself powerful specifically, so she could destroy herself and fulfill the prophecy on her own terms. Leaving Sarah alive. Leaving Kale alive. letting them break free from Marcus's shadow. You didn't have to do this, Sarah whispered. Yes, I did. Luna's eyes were dimming. Marcus raised me to complete his work. This is how I complete it, by ending it. She reached up, touching Sarah's cheek. Through the connection, Sarah felt everything. Luna's loneliness, her twisted sense of duty, her genuine love for siblings she'd never really known. Tell Mom. Luna's voice faded. Tell her I'm sorry I couldn't be saved. Then she went still. Cale broke Sarah's chains and she collapsed, sobbing. 3 sisters. All dead except her. Why? She cried. Why did they all have to die? Because Marcus twisted them. Cale held her close. He raised them to be weapons instead of people. This is his final crime. I'm the only one left. Then you honor them by living. By being everything they couldn't be. Cale lifted her face. By choosing love over destiny. Sarah looked at Luna's body. At the sister she'd never know. At the prophecy finally fulfilled in the most tragic way possible. The bloodlines merge, she whispered. From death comes eternal life. What? The prophecy. I think I understand now. Sarah stood slowly. All my sisters died. But I survived because of you. Because of our bond. Death of the old bloodline, birth of something new. What are you saying? Sarah placed her hand over her stomach. She'd known for days but hadn't been ready to tell him. I'm pregnant. Cale froze. What? The mate bond created new life. A child who'll carry both our bloodlines. Nightshade and Alphaborn. Tears streamed down her face. That's what the prophecy meant. Not destruction. Creation. Through the bond, she felt his overwhelming emotion. Joy, fear, wonder, love. A baby, he breathed. Our baby. Sarah managed a smile despite her grief. My sisters died. But their bloodline continues through me. Through us. Through our child. Cale pulled her close, and they stood there in that horrible laboratory, surrounded by death, holding on to life. The prophecy was fulfilled. The cycle was broken. And somehow, despite everything, they'd survived. Chapter 9. Can you find hope when everything falls apart? News of Luna's death spread quickly. So did news of Sarah's pregnancy. The pack's reaction was mixed. Some saw it as a blessing. The Alpha King and his Nightshade mate bringing forth a new generation. Others saw it as a curse. Nightshade blood mixing with Alphaborn, creating something unpredictable. Dangerous. Sarah felt the tension building. She was 6 weeks pregnant, and already her body was changing in ways that terrified her. The baby was growing faster than normal. Her Nightshade abilities were amplifying. Sometimes she'd touch something and see not just memories but possible futures. None of them good. Something's coming, she told Cale one morning. I can feel it. Something worse than Marcus. Marcus is dead. His followers are scattered. What could be worse? I don't know. But the prophecy mentioned the moon running red with innocent blood. That hasn't happened yet. Cale pulled her close. Then we prepare. Strengthen the pack. Build our defenses. But preparation wasn't enough. 3 days later, the attacks began. Not from rogues or hunters. From other packs. Word had spread about Sarah's pregnancy. About the child who would carry both Nightshade and Alphaborn blood. And the other Alphas were terrified. They remembered the old days. When Nightshades judged and executed corrupt Alphas. When no amount of power could protect you from their judgment. Now imagine that power combined with Alphaborn's strength. A child who could grow up to dominate or destroy any pack in existence. The other Alphas wanted that child dead. And they wanted Sarah dead too. The first attack came at dawn. 50 wolves from the Silverfang pack, led by Alpha Dominic himself. Hand over the Nightshade, Dominic demanded. Or we burn your territory to ash. Cale stood at the border, his pack behind him. She's my mate. My Luna. You'll go through me first. So be it. They attacked. The battle was vicious. Bloodmoon wolves fought desperately, but they were outnumbered and still recovering from Marcus's betrayal. They were losing ground. Sarah tried to help, but Cale had locked her in the safe house. Protected by his strongest warriors, kept away from the fighting. She hated it. Through the mate bond, she felt Cale's pain as he took wound after wound. Felt his desperation as pack members fell around him. Felt his fear that he'd lose her, lose their child, lose everything. She couldn't just sit here. Sarah overpowered the guards. Her Nightshade abilities made it easy. She touched them, showed them visions of their own deaths if they didn't let her pass. They moved aside. She ran to the battlefield. What she found was carnage. Blood soaked the ground. Bodies lay everywhere. The Silverfang pack was winning through sheer numbers. Kale was barely standing, surrounded by enemy wolves. Sarah felt something break inside her. Rage, power, instinct. Her nightshade abilities exploded outward, no longer controlled or contained. She touched the earth and saw everything. Every wolf's fears, every secret, every weakness. Then she used them. Stop! Her voice echoed with power. Not alpha command. Something older. Darker. I see you all. I see what you've done. Who you've killed. Who you've betrayed. The Silverfang wolves froze. Sarah moved among them like death itself. She touched Alpha Dominic's shoulder and showed him his own sins. Every innocent he'd murdered to gain power. Every ally he'd betrayed. Every child who'd cried because of his cruelty. He collapsed, screaming. She moved to the next wolf. And the next. Each one fell before her judgment. Not dead, but broken. Forced to confront every terrible thing they'd ever done. Within minutes, the Silverfang pack was fleeing. Those who could still run. The others lay on the ground, whimpering, drowning in their own guilt. Sarah stood in the center of the battlefield, glowing with silver light. Her nightshade power fully awakened. Terrifying. Beautiful. Unstoppable. Then she collapsed. Kale caught her before she hit the ground. What did you do? I don't know. Sarah's vision was blurry. I couldn't let them hurt you. You nearly killed them all. They were trying to kill us first. I know. But Sarah. He looked at her with worry. That power. That's what the other packs are afraid of. If they see what you just did, they'll come after us with everything they have. He was right. Within days, 3 more packs attacked. Then 5. Then 8. Word spread about the Nightshade Luna, who could destroy wolves with a touch. Who could judge them for their sins and leave them broken. Who was carrying a child that would be even more powerful. The packs united against them. Something that had never happened before. Natural enemies working together because they feared Sarah more than they hated each other. We can't win this, one of Kale's advisors said during a war council. 15 packs against us. Thousands of wolves. They'll overwhelm us through sheer numbers. Then we run, another suggested. Scatter. Regroup somewhere else. And abandon our territory? Kale's voice was hard. Never. Then we die here. The advisor looked around the table. Is that what we want? To die for pride? No. Sarah spoke up. We die protecting our home. Our family. Our future. She placed her hand over her stomach. This child deserves to grow up somewhere safe. We make our stand here. The pack prepared for war. They had 1 week before the unified packs attacked. 1 week to build defenses, train warriors, say goodbye to loved ones. Sarah spent the time with her mother, learning everything she could about nightshade abilities. How to control them. How to use them without destroying herself in the process. The power takes a toll, her mother warned. Every time you judge someone, you absorb their guilt, their pain, their darkness. It accumulates inside you. What happens when it's too much? You break. Lose yourself. Become the monster everyone thinks you are. Her mother gripped her hands. Promise me you'll stop before that happens. I promise. But they both knew it was a lie. When the battle came, Sarah would use everything she had. Even if it destroyed her. The night before the attack, Kale found Sarah standing alone, looking at the stars. Can't sleep? He asked. Too much to think about. She leaned into him. We might die tomorrow. We might. Are you scared? Terrified. His honesty surprised her. But I'm also grateful. I got to meet you. Got to fall in love despite everything working against us. Got to see what forgiveness and mercy really mean. He placed his hand over her stomach. Got to know we created new life. If we die tomorrow, our child dies too. Then we don't die. Kale turned her to face him. I've spent 16 years trying to atone for my mistakes. Tomorrow, I finally do it. I protect an innocent instead of destroying them. Sarah kissed him. I love you. I don't think I've said it enough. I love you too. More than I thought possible. They spent the night together. Not making plans or preparing for battle. Just being together. 2 people who'd found each other against impossible odds, stealing one more moment of peace. Dawn came too quickly. The unified packs arrived as the sun rose. Thousands of wolves, covering the forest like a living carpet. 15 alphas leading them, united in their fear and hatred. Alpha Dominic stood at the front, recovered but scarred by what Sarah had shown him. Last chance, Blood Moon. Hand over the Nightshade and her abomination child. The rest of you can live. Never, Kale roared. If you want them, you go through all of us. So be it. The packs charged. What followed was the bloodiest battle in werewolf history. Blood Moon Pack fought with desperate fury, knowing they protected not just territory but family. The unified packs fought with fear-driven rage, determined to eliminate the Nightshade threat forever. Sarah used her abilities carefully at first, judging enemy wolves, showing them their sins, breaking their will to fight. But there were too many. For every wolf she stopped, 10 more took their place. And the darkness was accumulating inside her. Every judgment, every glimpse into another wolf's evil, it all collected in her soul like poison. She felt herself changing, becoming colder, harder, the line between justice and vengeance blurring. Kale felt it through the mate bond. Sarah, stop. You're going too far. I can't stop. She touched another wolf, another. They keep coming. Then we run. We get you out of here. And let them destroy everything we built? No. She pushed deeper into her power, touched the earth itself, and sent her judgment through it like a shockwave. 50 wolves collapsed at once, screaming. But the backlash hit her hard. She fell to her knees, blood pouring from her nose. The baby. Something was wrong with the baby. Pain ripped through her stomach. Sarah doubled over, feeling her child's distress through their connection. The power she was using was hurting them both. I have to stop, she gasped. But she couldn't. Alpha Dominic was charging straight for her, murder in his eyes. Kale intercepted him. They collided with brutal force, 2 alphas fighting for dominance. Around them, Blood Moon Pack was falling. Too many enemies. Too much blood. They'd fought bravely, but the numbers were overwhelming. Sarah watched pack members die. Wolves she'd judged innocent weeks ago. Wolves who'd welcomed her despite their fears. Good people dying because they'd chosen to protect her. No more, she whispered. She stood despite the pain, despite the baby's distress, despite Kale screaming at her through the bond to stop. She gathered every bit of Nightshade power she possessed, drew it up from her bloodline, from the earth, from the bond itself. This would kill her. She knew it, but it would also save everyone else. One final judgment. One final act. She touched the ground and sent her power out like a tidal wave. Every wolf on the battlefield froze. Friend and enemy alike. They all felt it. Sarah's consciousness touching theirs, seeing everything they were, everything they'd done, everything they could become. And she judged them. Not with cruelty. Not with revenge. But with truth. She showed the unified packs why they really attacked. Not to protect themselves from danger, but to maintain power. They feared Sarah because she represented accountability. A world where alphas couldn't hide behind strength. Where corruption would be exposed. Where justice actually meant something. They saw their own cowardice reflected back at them. Some broke. Some fled. Some fell to their knees and surrendered. Within minutes, the battle was over. Not through violence, but through truth. Sarah had won. But the cost was everything. She collapsed, her body shutting down. The power had burned through her like wildfire. She was dying. Kale caught her, his face streaked with tears. No, you don't get to do this. You don't get to sacrifice yourself. Had to. Blood bubbled from her lips. They would have killed everyone. I don't care. I need you. He pressed his hand to her stomach. Our child needs you. Through the fading bond, Sarah felt the baby. Still alive. Still fighting. Stronger than she'd realized. Her mother appeared, kneeling beside them. There's a way to save her. But it requires sacrifice. Anything, Kale said immediately. The mate bond. It's the only thing keeping her alive right now. If you sever it, she might survive. The power drain will stop. Her body can heal. And what happens to me? You'll lose your mate. Forever. The bond can't be reformed once broken. Her mother's eyes were sad. You have to choose. Keep the bond and watch her die. Or break it and let her live. Kale looked at Sarah. She tried to shake her head, tried to tell him not to do it. But she couldn't speak anymore. I love you, Kale whispered. That's why I'm letting you go. He bit through the mate mark on her neck, severing the bond completely. Sarah screamed as the connection shattered. It felt like being ripped in half. Everything that connected them, gone in an instant. But her body started healing. The power drain stopped. Life flowed back into her veins. She survived. But at what cost? She looked at Kale and felt nothing through the bond. Because there was no bond anymore. He'd saved her by destroying the one thing that made them whole. The unified packs retreated, broken and defeated. Blood Moon territory was safe. The war was over. They'd won everything. Except each other. Chapter 10. Can you find your way back to someone after losing everything? 3 months passed. Sarah lived in a cottage on the edge of Blood Moon territory. Close enough to be protected, far enough to be alone. The pregnancy progressed rapidly. Her daughter was growing strong, healthy, perfect. Every day, Sarah felt the baby's power growing too. Nightshade and Alpha-born, just like the prophecy predicted. But she felt it all alone. Without the mate bond, she couldn't sense Kale anymore. Couldn't feel his emotions. Couldn't share his thoughts. He visited weekly, checking on her and the baby, but there was a distance between them now. A gap that couldn't be bridged. How are you feeling? Kale asked during one visit. Fine. The baby's healthy. That's good. Awkward silence. They'd gone from sharing souls to small talk. I should go, Kale said finally. Pack business. Of course. He left. Sarah watched from the window, touching her stomach. Their daughter kicked, as if sensing her mother's sadness. I'm sorry, Sarah whispered. I'm sorry you'll grow up with parents who love each other, but can't be together. Because that was the cruelest part. The mate bond was gone, but the love remained. Sarah still loved Kale with everything she had. But without the bond to connect them, it felt hollow. Incomplete. Her mother visited more often than Kale did. She'd moved into the cottage, helping Sarah prepare for the baby. You're miserable, her mother said bluntly one evening. I'm alive. That's what matters. Is it? You survived, but you're not living. Her mother sat beside her. Kale made a choice to save you. The least you can do is honor that choice by being happy. How can I be happy without him? Who says you have to be without him? Sarah looked up. The bond is severed. That's permanent. The mate bond is severed. But bonds aren't the only way to connect to someone. Her mother smiled. Before mate bonds, before magic, wolves still fell in love. Still built lives together. Still chose each other every single day. You're saying we can be together without the bond? I'm saying the bond made it easier. But love? Love is a choice. And if you love him, you choose him. Bond or no bond. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. Her mother's words echoed in her mind. Choose him. Could it really be that simple? Just choose to be together despite everything? She felt the baby kick again. Strong, insistent. Like she was saying, go get him, Mom. Sarah made a decision. The next morning, she walked to pack headquarters. It had been rebuilt after Marcus's destruction. Bigger, stronger, better. Wolves stared as she passed. The Nightshade Luna who'd saved them all. Who'd sacrificed her bond to protect the pack. They respected her now. Feared her, yes, but also loved her. She found Kale in his office, buried in paperwork. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. Sarah. He stood immediately. Is everything okay? The baby. We're fine. She closed the door. I need to talk to you. Of course. What's wrong? You broke the mate bond to save me. I did. His expression was guarded. I'd do it again. I know. And I'm grateful. But I'm also angry. Sarah moved closer. You made that choice without asking me. Without giving me a say. You were dying. There wasn't time. I know. But Kale, you need to understand something. She placed her hand on his chest, right over his heart. The bond is gone. But my choice isn't. His eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm saying I choose you. Not because magic forces me to. Not because prophecy demands it. But because I want to. Tears filled her eyes. I love you. And I want to build a life with you. Raise our daughter together. Be a family. Without the bond, it won't be the same. No, it'll be better. Because we'll choose each other every single day. When things get hard, we won't have magic forcing us to stay. We'll stay because we want to. Sarah smiled through her tears. That's real love, Kale. Not destiny. Not prophecy. Just two people choosing each other. Kale pulled her close, burying his face in her hair. I've been so miserable without you. I know. I felt it too. How? The bond is gone. I don't need a bond to know you. I just need to pay attention. She pulled back to look at him. So what do you say? Want to try this the human way? The human way? Dating. Marriage. Growing old together. Sarah laughed. All the normal things wolves forgot about when mate bonds became common. Kale's smile was the first genuine one she'd seen in months. I would love to date you, Sarah Nightshade. Good. Because you're taking me to dinner tonight. Somewhere nice. It's a date. They kissed. Not driven by mate bond magic, but by simple, honest love. It felt different. More real somehow. The months that followed were the happiest of Sarah's life. Kale courted her properly. Dinner dates, long walks, conversations about everything and nothing. They learned each other all over again, without the bond providing shortcuts. It was harder, more work, but also more rewarding. They announced their intention to marry, and the pack celebrated. The Nightshade Luna and their Alpha King, choosing each other freely. It was a powerful symbol. Sarah gave birth on the winter solstice. A daughter with silver eyes and dark hair. She screamed when she entered the world, and every wolf in a mile radius felt her power. They named her Lyra, after the sisters who died so she could live. Kale held his daughter with tears streaming down his face. She's perfect. She's powerful, Sarah corrected. Did you feel that? When she was born, everyone felt it. She's going to be stronger than both of us combined. That's what the prophecy meant. From death comes eternal life. Our daughters died, but their power lives on in her. Baby Lyra looked at them with ancient eyes, and Sarah knew. This child would change everything. Would unite the packs or destroy them. Would usher in a new era. But that was a problem for later. For now, they were just a family. 6 months later, Kale proposed properly. Not as Alpha to Luna, but as man to woman. On one knee in the cottage garden, ring in hand. Sarah Nightshade, will you marry me? Not because destiny demands it, but because I choose you. Yes, Sarah laughed through tears. 1,000 times yes. They married in the spring, surrounded by the pack and Sarah's mother. It was simple, beautiful, perfect. And when they exchanged vows, Sarah felt something impossible. A tiny spark of connection. Not the mate bond returning, but something new. Something they'd built together through choice and love and determination. Did you feel that? Kale whispered. I did. Their daughter, sitting with Sarah's mother, giggled. Her eyes glowed silver. She'd done something. Connected her parents with her power. She gave us a new bond, Sarah realized. Not mate bond. Something else. Something no one's seen before. Our little miracle worker, Kale kissed her. I love you. I love you too. 1 year later, Sarah found herself at Lyra's grave. The real Lyra, the sister she'd lost. She brought nightshade flowers and baby Lyra, now walking and talking and bursting with personality. Your niece wanted to meet you, Sarah said to the gravestone. She has your name, your strength, your stubbornness. Baby Lyra touched the grave, and her power flared. For just a moment, Sarah saw her sister's face. Smiling. At peace. Thank you, Lyra's ghost whispered. For living. For choosing love. For breaking the cycle. Then she faded. Sarah picked up her daughter. Come on, little one. Let's go home. As they walked back, Sarah thought about everything that had happened. The pain, the loss, the impossible choices. She'd lost her family, gained it back, lost it again. She'd been betrayed, forgiven, learned to love. She'd survived. And in surviving, she'd discovered something the prophecy never mentioned. That the greatest strength wasn't power or magic or destiny. It was choice. Choosing to forgive when revenge would be easier. Choosing to love when hate would be justified. Choosing to live when giving up would be simpler. That was real strength. She reached her cottage where Kale was working in the garden with her mother. He looked up and smiled, and Sarah felt that new bond they shared pulse with warmth. Welcome home, he said. Home. Such a simple word. But after years of running, hiding, surviving, it meant everything. Sarah had pretended to be human for a decade. Hidden her true nature. Suppressed everything she was. But in the end, it was her humanity that saved her. Not her wolf. Not her power. Not destiny or prophecy. Just her human heart, choosing to love despite everything. And in the end, Sarah whispered to her daughter, the girl who pretended to be human became the most human of them all. Because she chose love. Baby Lyra smiled, her silver eyes full of understanding beyond her years. The Nightshade bloodline would continue. But this time, guided by love instead of prophecy. By choice instead of destiny. And that made all the difference. Thank you so much for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel for more heartfelt and emotional stories like this one. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment sharing your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. Your support truly means the world and helps me create even more amazing content for you. Make sure to turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. See you in the next video.